Today I go through my top 5 tips on how to get the S plus rank in Splatoon 3. Straight into it. Number 1, just stay alive. Staying alive is the most important part of the game. By not needlessly being splatted, you're much more than helpful than running in, potentially getting one splat, and then just being splatted yourself. This usually results in no benefit whatsoever to you or your team. Now I'm sure we've all been in a position where our team has been wiped out and the whole team is respawning. It's absolutely frustrating and it can be devastating. Normally results in a massive push from the opposing team, wasted time, lost ground, and potentially losing the game. By staying alive, your teammates have the option to jump to you. This is perfect for trying to defend a push or maintain ground, as they can quickly get back into the game and help. It also provides some type of barrier to a push from the opposing team. If you're in a highly defendable spot, you may be able to stop a push by simply staying alive and putting down fire. Number 2, stay and help your team. In solo queue, staying with your team is absolutely vital to winning games. This doesn't mean you have to be right next to each other or to another player, but being in the general vicinity means your team is much more solid and harder to be pushed against. This can help turn 1v1s into 2v1s against the opposing team. By being with your team, you can also see what each player is doing. If one is being shot at, you can quickly join the fight, or if someone is carrying the Rainmaker, you can help make a path for them. There may be times where you need to stray from your teammates, such as getting into a good flank position, or maybe a vantage point, but just always ensure your team is never too far behind. No need to feed. Keep applying pressure. The obvious meaning from this is that if you're pushing, say towards an objective, you need to apply pressure to the opposing team so they are not able to take ground. You can do this in a variety of ways, such as painting their space, throwing bombs, activating specials, and much more, all just to keep them away from you and being pushed back. Sometimes you can do this by yourself, if you're in a narrow point in the game for example, but most of the time you will need your team to apply pressure effectively. This also applies defensively. If you're applying pressure and you're able to push the enemy team back or keep them at bay, you can more easily hold zones. If you're not applying enough pressure to push the enemy team, simply stopping them from pushing helps you win any game. Now if you're enjoying the video so far, then go ahead and splat that like button. Number 4, special use. I've seen far too many players use their special almost as soon as they're available. This usually results in a waste of a special that could have been activated at a much more advantageous part of the game. When to use your special can be a surprisingly hard skill to master. You might think throwing a booyah bomb will help capture a zone, but then you quickly realise none of your team was ready to push. At which point it was too late, you wasted your special, the opposing team have got the zone back instantly, and you now have nothing to push back with. If possible, you want to have the majority of your team ready with their specials just before a push. This could be to take a zone or to push through the tower, but by using your specials either together or one after another, this can lead to a game-changing push that the opposing team can do almost nothing to stop. And the last tip is stop being tilted. When you tilt, your changing gameplay shows. You're more easily irritated, you make bad calls, and then you further tilt, causing a vicious cycle. Not only this, you then start not enjoying the game. Relax, take a break, try Salmon Run, or the campaign, or even just come off the game altogether. Whatever you need to do to get out of that headspace, do it. Continuing to play is not doing anyone any favours. One thing I find particularly useful is making myself a hot drink. By the time the kettle boils, I've made my drink. I usually forget about the last match, get back into focusing on the game. Now that's all the tips I've got for you, and they might not be technical tips, but by applying these tips and being consistent in your gameplay, you should easily be able to reach S+ rank. If you want to see more tips and tricks, or even just updates and general chats about Splatoon 3, then subscribe to my channel where you'll see much more of this content. Thank you.